Gosh darn it, man, I just uploaded a video right now. I can't make another video about this news that came out literally 2 minutes after I went out there and posted that video about Chris Boucher and the Habs. Let's talk about Bruce. There it is, baby, as the Vancouver Canucks have announced that Bruce Boudreau is officially coming back for 22-23. Now, this entire time, I will say that I've been sort of avoiding the topic of Bruce Boudreau, not necessarily because I don't think it's a worthy topic to make a video about. I certainly understand that there were many Vancouverites, myself included, that were looking at the updates, looking at all the insider information that we were hearing, talking about whether or not Bruce Boudreau would actually return. He had the option to go out there and say no. The Canucks had the option to go out there and decide elsewhere. But it comes down to this. Bruce Boudreau has indeed been confirmed to returning to Vancouver for 22-23, despite all the stuff, all the naysayers, all the ideas that we were getting tossed our way. Oh, Rutherford and Allvin are trying to incorporate analytics, and maybe Bruce is not going to want to listen to that. Or maybe it's the idea that Rutherford does not want to go long-term with Bruce because he's an old guy, and if the Vancouver Canucks see another coach as a fit in the next few years, maybe Bruce just is not included in that picture. We had a whole bunch of information, left, right, center, up, down, behind us, all over as to whether or not Bruce Boudreau would actually return. But ever since that Donnie and Dolly piece came out earlier today, I believe, or was it yesterday, I'm not really too sure, the Vancouver Canucks took it into their own hands and said, okay, screw it, we're going to make the announcement. Bruce Boudreau is indeed coming back. Allvin announced today that Bruce will return as the head coach for the Vancouver Canucks in 22-23. We are pleased to see Bruce's commitment to return to the Canucks next season, Allvin said. He has done a great job since arriving in Vancouver, and we are eager to see the team continue to perform under his leadership as they did during the second half of the year. I like how he phrased that. Not necessarily, oh, he's got them playing the best systems, he's got them getting the best out of their guys. He has leadership, and I think that's one of the bigger things that a lot of Canucks fans were sort of feeling out throughout these negotiations as we started to get more information. That even though Bruce had a really good record for the Canucks when he came here, Rutherford still said the defense, not good enough. The systems, not good enough. A lot of dump and chase hockey from their own zone into the neutral zone, a really bad breakout, and Rutherford was really clear when he said those things. Like, it's not necessarily the players by themselves that exhibit poor breakout solutions and poor systems in transitioning the puck, but the coach also plays a part of that as well. And so, with some of the comments that Rutherford made, with the lack of competence with some of the way this team would do their things, one may think that Bruce has to be sort of at fault in that respect, right? So the fact that Allvin is saying that, hey, he does a good job making the guys want to play, and he has good leadership, I think that's a really good aspect to differentiate when it comes to how Bruce functions as a coach here in Vancouver. My desire has always been to come back and coach this team, said Boudreau. I love the organization, city fans, and the players. Yeah, I know. The fans love you too, Bruce. I'm also grateful for the opportunity provided to me by Jim and Patrick to continue building what we started. He also is 67 years old, which was a complaint, or not really complaint, but it was a concern that I had too. Let's say the Vancouver Canucks take an extra 2-3 years to become good again. That's when Elias Pettersson gets 100 points. That's when Brock gets back to 30 goals if he's even on the team. That's when everything comes together. After you trade away Miller this offseason, you get some picks, you get some prospects. Those prospects start developing into NHL players in 2025, let's say. By the time 2025 rolls around, Bruce Boudreau is going to be 71, 70 years old. That's really old. Like, I know Bruce is a very talkative, and he's a good player, or excuse me, not player, he's a good coach. He's got the media chops, he can talk well, he can do all the things that he has been good at. But Who knows how he's going to be when he's 70 years old? Is he still going to be wanting to coach a rebuilding-ish on-the-fly team? Or is he going to want to go to a team that's a lot more, let's say, developed and that actually has a more solidified chance at winning a cup? Let's say whatever team goes out there and fires their head coach, Vegas, for example. Oh boy, I'd hate that. He was named the 20th head coach in Canucks history on December 5th, 2021, and his impact was felt immediately. He became the third coach in NHL history to win his first 7 games with a new team, matching Jeff Ward for Calgary in 2019-20 and Jacques Lemaire for New Jersey in 93-94. Since taking over mid-season, Boudreau guided the team to a 32-15-10 record, 74 points, which was the second best record by points percentage in the Pacific during that time. Man, it still kind of blows my mind how good the Vancouver Canucks were under Bruce Boudreau. On January 23rd, he coached his 1,000th regular season NHL game, becoming the 26th head coach in NHL history to reach the milestone. Among coaches with at least 1,000 games coached in the NHL, his .635 points percentage ranks second only to Scotty Bowman. Now, Bruce had some really good teams in the past, right? Anaheim, you had Washington, the Minnesota team he was a part of in 2019-20. While they weren't necessarily the best, they still lost to Vancouver in the play-in series. Bruce didn't really have a bad record when he got the can, and a lot of Wild fans I remember back at that time frame were saying, okay, why did we fire him? Come on. Boudreau is also just one victory shy of 600 career wins, which would make him the 22nd coach in NHL history to reach that mark. He has a career coaching record of 599, 317, and 125 in 1,024 regular season games with the Canucks, Minnesota Wild, Ducks, and Capitals. A native of Toronto, Ontario, Boudreau has also coached 90 playoff games, where he does have a negative record, unfortunately. We'll get into that a little bit later as we talk a little bit more about Bruce. And he was the recipient of the Jack Adams as NHL Coach of the Year in 2008. Now, this right here, the 43 and 47, a lot of people might go out there and say, okay, is Bruce Boudreau really the guy to lead the Canucks to a Stanley Cup? He's got a negative playoff record, and you could see that he gets outcoached once in a while when he makes the playoffs. The Anaheim series back in, what was it, oh boy. I have some Anaheim fans that are friends of mine that would get ticked off if they heard me pondering about this, but that time the Anaheim Ducks made it to the Western Conference Finals, I believe. That was apparently when Bruce Boudreau got outcoached the most out of all the series he has had. He relies very heavily upon his stars. He doesn't really like to change things on the fly when things get tough in the postseason, and he's got a negative record to show for it, even though the fact that he even gets to the postseason in the first place is something that you could say has value in its own right. I'm kind of in that boat as well. I don't really think the Canucks should be worrying too much about Bruce Boudreau not really taking this team to the third round and beyond, because just getting to the playoffs in the first place and proving that the team is a playoff caliber team, in my opinion, that's good enough. So for Bruce Boudreau, if he can at least prove that for next season, which I don't think he will, because I think the team will be significantly worse on paper next season, let's say 2023, 2024, if he does decide to get an extension and stick around when he's 69 years old, because that's a very nice number, we'll see whether or not that is the time frame for Bruce and playoff success with the Vancouver Canucks, because for now, just having that morale boost, just having this guy at the helm is good enough in my opinion. Bruce, there it is, baby. He is indeed back. I don't know if I want to upload this video right away because we only uploaded another video just a few minutes ago, so yeah, we might have to sit on this one a little bit before we actually press upload, but I hope you enjoyed this video either way. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about Bruce. There it is, baby, coming back to the Vancouver Canucks. This is a beautiful graphic, by the way. Like, the Vancouver Canucks social media team, I know Brett Moroki on defense is kind of a part of it, is he not? But there are a few very talented people doing their part, and graphics like these make things a lot funner for fans like us to take a look at and acknowledge. So, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I already said that. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about Bruce Boudreau, such as Rolls9, and bye.